Hello my boys, good morning. So recently GGG did a big interview in Korea. They flew Jonathan Rogers there in order to talk about PATH of EXILE 2, and we learned some important things, new ideas actually. So here it's the interview that they did. I watched it multiple times and I extracted the big ideas. Okay, so let's move here in this beautiful thing. And here I have the important points for you. Let's zoom in a little. So this is 10 big mentions from the Korean interview. First I want to tell you that a lot of people understood wrong one part regarding melee. Keep it at last because I will play the video and discuss what Jonathan Rogers actually says there. Yeah, because again, I play this game a lot. You will see me each league play more than 1,000 hours, make like 7-10 characters per league. So I know what I'm talking. This will be the last one. Let's start with number 2. The first thing that they said that the guilds are not currently combined with PATH of EXILE 1 and PATH of EXILE 2. He mentioned that he wanted to do it, to combine guilds for both PATH of EXILE 1 and 2, but they encounter technical difficulties. So guilds will be separated. In PATH of EXILE 2, you will need to organize the guilds from scratch. And in case you don't know, this sucks, at least for me. So here is a guild in PATH of EXILE. I need to redo everything here, yeah, which sucks. I was hoping that they are shared. You know, when I launched PATH of EXILE 2, we already shared the same panel. Guilds are important in PATH of EXILE. They give you slight advantages, especially if you're a new player. You can just open the guild chat and ask your questions. Now, it depends how big is your guild. That's also true. And I will write an email to GGG today asking what will happen with the guild tabs. As you can see, you also can have guild stash tabs that are shared. Everyone can access them. Yeah, so I'll write an email after this. Let's go to the next point. So Jonathan Rogers was asked if the campaign is necessary to be completed each time. So he said that every new league you will have to complete the campaign from scratch and they will not change this. And he mentioned because it's good for the game and fair towards everyone. So if a new player starts to play PATH of EXILE 2, he will be in a disadvantage. You know, just do the campaign once and then you don't have to do it in the future. It's not fair towards new players and it's good for the game. So it will remain like this. You always need to complete the campaign, which I'm also a fan of. Yeah, you need to be fair to all the players in this game. He also mentioned that we will have no Mage Blood in PATH of EXILE 2, and it makes sense because they altered the flash system here. Yeah, but he also mentioned that we will have other such powerful uniques, you know, chased uniques that will be very, very rare, but incredibly powerful. He also mentioned that a lot of uniques from PATH of EXILE will be returning in PATH of EXILE 2. The more reasons when I said that PATH of EXILE 1 is similar to PATH of EXILE 2. It's similar in terms of side content, now a lot of uniques are returning. These games are pretty similar because people don't see it. Even for the inventory is similar. Even for the skill tree is similar. You know, the new skill tree in PATH of EXILE 2, it's just like the one from PATH of EXILE 1, but stylized with better graphic styles. It's the same idea. Yeah. This one, it's a big one. Mirror of Calandra will be returning in PATH of EXILE 2. Yeah, for those who don't know, this is the rarest and most important currency in PATH of EXILE. Let me check first something if I'm recording. Yes, I'm recording, because I will do something with you now. So here we are in Settlers of Gargoyle League. In case you don't know what Mirror of Calandra does, it duplicates one of your items. So you want to use this shit, which is extremely expensive, on an item that is close to perfect and it's overpowered as fuck. Yeah, this I crafted in Settlers of Galgur. And look what happens. If you put it on a rare, you get a copy. That's just like this. So a player, you can craft or spend a lot of currency to craft something godly, and you just use a Mirror of Calandra and you duplicate it, you know? And this is actually, some people complain of this because people can make a godly item and sell it at infinite to other players with a fee. And this can piss up some players. You know, here we can debate if it's good or bad for the game, but this it's confirmed that will stay in PATH of EXILE 2, which is important to know. This I will gift it to the guild. See, I will make a competition, something there. Controller support, they stress that is way better than what we had in PATH of EXILE 1. As I explained, even for PC, if you connect now a joystick in the lobby, you will have access to the console interface even on PC. You'll see live bar goes up and there will be some changes. I still like to open my stack decks with controller because it's easier. So if you have a lot of stack decks in PATH of EXILE 1, consider using a controller because it's faster to open all of them. So it's way better than we had in POE 1. They have a whole team working on this. Yeah, so Jonathan Rogers mentioned that they now assign the whole team working on it. Certain gems will suck while on a controller. And it also makes sense. She explained that while they did a lot of improvements to the controller, some skill gems will feel like trash because they are not fully optimized for controller. The player still needs to aim and all that crap. Yeah. They also mentioned here that crafting will be easier. This already we knew, that they simplified crafting. But he stressed, Jonathan Rogers, that currency drops are boosted in this regard. So you will find much more currency than in Path of Exile 1. That will allow players to experiment more with crafting. That is good. He also stressed that they will add more options for crafting as Path of Exile 2 evolves. And he also mentioned that in Path of Exile 1 we have a lot of stacked overlapping mechanics, side content, yeah? And this can give more complexity to the crafting system. So if a player comes now to Path of Exile 1, he will have a hard time understanding the crafting system because we have a lot of mechanics from different leagues. But in Path of Exile 2, we won't have this problem. It's friendlier towards new players. Now, he explained that we will have a new store system. You can try the MTX before you buy it. It's actually quite good. If you like to buy MTXs, you can try it. Here I'm not sure because he didn't mention it. Either you can use it for a limited time in your hideout, or maybe you have a panel, you know, like here, and you can see how the armor will look on you or how the effects look on your character, exactly what you have. One of these will be, you know, which it's a quality of life because some MTXs are really cool. Now, depends how much money you have. Yeah, they plan to add special MTX for things like druid form, demon form, etc. Yeah. So shape-shifting is a thing in Path of Exile 2, where you can transform, for example, into a bear. You know, they will release skins for that bear. You know, like tattoos. A bear will have a tattoo on his back. Maybe he will have some levitating balls around him. Maybe he will have a Christmas tree up his ass. Something like that. Or other such forms, like demon form. Yeah, and you can buy it from the store or maybe with a supporter pack. Now he was asked about mounts in Path of Exile 2. He stressed that it's not a general system, so don't expect each class to have a mount like in other games where you have a large area to explore. That's not the case in Path of Exile 2. You have little maps, let's put it like this, that you can complete pretty fast, so mounts are useless, yeah. Jonathan Rogers explained that the Roa mount will be just a thing for the Ranger. Will be an ascendancy for her that will include this Roa. And he also said that it's quite busted because she will move very fast, allowing her to clear the maps very easy. So this actually, he mentioned that they might even nerf it because it's too strong or put more downsides. Yeah, so this is a spoiler that Roa from the Ranger will make you clear the maps much more faster. Ho! Yeah. And here we have a bonus, but not before I talk about melee. Okay. We already know that in Path of Exile 1, GGG tried multiple times to make melee better, and that was not the case. So they tried multiple ideas. Even in this league Setters of Kalgur in Path of Exile 1, they buffed all the melee skills all across the board. And still, range skills and range spells were better, but people understood wrong what Jonathan Rogers said here, and they started saying that melee skills are better than range spells and attacks, and that's not true. And I will play the exact segment with you where Jonathan Rogers was asked and answered, and you will see that he was referring to totally something else, so don't expect melee to be busted. Yeah, let's play that video and then I will comment further.
So what about specifically when it comes to melee, like how useful are melee skills outside of just being supplemental to others?
Oh, I mean, I definitely think melee skills are very useful. They're incredibly strong, generally speaking, relative to ranged. Like that, you definitely get the payoff for being in melee range.
네, 일단 그 게임 디자인 측면에서는 사실
Well, actually, just to talk about that, a lot of bosses are actually much easier to fight in melee than they are in ranged, because the skills the bosses choose to use are different, and also because the any kind of attack that involves hitting an arc, it's much easier to avoid. So for example, with the boss I was just fighting, which I did admittedly die to, it's actually much easier if you stay very close to the boss, because his abilities, you know, when he's targeting you, you can dodge around the boss very easily when you're very close, but when you're far away, it's actually much harder to dodge those abilities. So melee is actually quite an advantage in that regard too.
네, 한 부분만.
Okay, my boys, that was the part that was interpreted wrong by a lot of people. I need to stress that I'm specialized in boss killing services and challenge services, so I help other players to complete their challenges and to kill bosses. I stopped doing this, I think, last year. But this is my specialty, what I do. I need to stress that even range and spells casters can get close to a boss. Yeah? So people now say that melee have an advantage, that they can dodge easier the boss mechanics. So I need to stress that also characters that use range spells and range attacks can get close to the boss, and you need to get close. For example, in Maven, for certain attacks, I get closer to the boss and dance in circles like this around the boss, like I was melee. It's normal. So if you want to be effective in this game, for certain bosses, you will need to get close. So even if you shoot from distance with a spell, you just get close to the boss, that's all. So this is not an advantage for melee. If you're ranged, you will get closer to the boss, you will get used to hits mechanics. The more you farm that boss, the better you'll get used to it. So it's nothing special. And another thing that Jonathan Rogers mentioned, so first you need to understand that GGG tried to make melee work in Path of Exile 1 multiple times. They always failed because it's how melee plays. So having limited range is bad for the map clear speed, yeah? So it's harder to clear the map packs faster if you're using a melee skill. And the current melee skills that are okay-ish to play in Path of Exile 1 feel more like spells, yeah? Because it's hard to play a melee build in Path of Exile, that's the reality. GGG tries its best, even Jonathan Rogers, to make in Path of Exile 2 melee builds viable at least, to be okay-ish. But don't say that melee will be superior over ranged spells or attacks. That is simply not the case. So ranged attacks and spells will clear the maps for the endgame much more faster than melee. Yeah, that's my opinion. And also Jonathan Rogers mentioned that melee skills were buffed. I'm pretty sure he was referring to the numerical values. So in this league, Setos of Kalgur, when they launched the league, they did a massive buff towards all the melee skill gems. Yeah, they even added some retaliation skills. Yeah, and people were doing theory crafting, explaining, look here at the damage multiplier, attack damage 1000 of the base. This will be busted, this will be overpowered. No shit. Well, the league started and people did some experiments and abandoned them. Yeah. That will be even in Path of Exile 2. And I will tell you also that if you start melee, your first acts should be horrendous in Path of Exile 2. Yeah, easier time for range, as always, or range spells. Yeah, I don't want to ruin your fun, depends on your playstyle. So if you want to play melee, play it. But don't expect them to be busted, or better than ranged spells or attacks, because that will not be the case. Yeah, if you want to trust POE guy, fine. If you don't want to trust POE guy, it's also fine. Here I have a bonus for you. He was asked, Jonathan Rogers, have you ever done phantom nerfs, like ninja nerfs in Path of Exile 1? As we know, GGG did multiple times phantom nerfs. They did it for Sanctums multiple times. They did it for Blighted Maps. They did it for Strongboxes. So in Kalandra League, Strongboxes got nerfed. Yeah, so I was low-key telling my friends, hey, do Strongboxes, because they were dropping a lot of expensive divination cards. I don't know what was happening. I was running 3 maps and I was getting really expensive divination cards. And DDD applied the patch, and after that patch I was running even 50 maps without seeing a jackpot divination card. So they slightly altered the loot that we get from Strongboxes. Again, this happened in Kalandra League. So a player that stays in game and actually plays the game each day can notice these slight changes. Even for Sanctums. Sanctums was nerfed multiple times. When they first released the Sanctum League, people were getting 20, 30 Divine Orbs even inside the one run, and that was crazy. So GG had to do some ninja nerfs. Let me explain you why GG does ninja nerfs and doesn't expose this publicly. Because people get upset, you know, they start to cry, mommy, GG did nerf my loop, oh, she destroyed the game, I will quit. They start raging, yeah? But they don't understand how an action role-playing game needs to be played. It's mind-blowing. Chris Wilson, even in Arch Nemesis League, had to do a global loot nerf. So you were getting so much loot in Path of Exile 1 that this game was no longer an action role-playing game, which issue that we still have now. We get way too much loot that we should. In Path of Exile 2, I hope that this will not be the case. So Chris Wilson did a global nerf. And people started crying on the forums. Oh, they're ruining the game. Oh, they're nerfing my game. And they were very upset. Yeah. So when he was asked, have you ever done ninja nerfs in Path of Exile 1? This was his response. He was looking on the ceiling. After smiling big, he said, not really. So which translates in short term, yes, they did it. But he stressed that GGG is a company that wants to be transparent with its players. I need to stress that these ninja nerfs, these nerfs were needed in the game, but they had to do it ninja because the player base would start crying on the forums. Ah, they ruined the game. Oh, they made the game unplayable. You know how are players in these days, especially the new generation of players. My boys, these were the 10 big mentions from the Korean interview, and we stop here. I'm hoping that GG will reveal fully the skill tree, Atlas tree, and the ascendancies, yeah? So we can talk more. Until then, have a good time and good luck.